Hello, 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 hello. Happy Sunday, guys. Hello from Middle Georgia, where it is 77 degrees and beautiful. Hello. It is Monica. We just went live. I'm live on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page. Mom, thank you so much for the stars. Thank you, thank you. That's very sweet. So welcome to Sundays in the Studio with me, Sandy. If this is your first time here, I'm Sandy McTeer, and I try and do these a couple times a month to share different things I'm painting, bring new products to you, some fun playtime, creative time, a little studio chit chat, and yeah, just to kind of connect. So happy that you're here. You're eager to learn this new method today. Well, Virginia, I'm happy that you guys are here. There's lots of you joining on over on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page. So make sure that you like both, follow both, subscribe to both. And if you're on YouTube, there's that little bell. And if you hit that bell, it'll notify you when I go live. So I know that y'all have been waiting over there for the last 20 minutes on YouTube for me to go live, because once I put all that information into my system, my platform that I use, it generates that notification on YouTube. It doesn't on Facebook. I'm sure there's a way I could do it, just haven't done it yet. So anyway, I hope you guys had a fantastic week. Ellie says she loves jelly printing. Wonderful. Well, I probably will live up to your expectations, hopefully, today. So, hi, Debbie in Central Florida. I know exactly where you live. Well, not your house, but I know that you live in Florida. Anyway, like I said, it is a beautiful, beautiful 77 degrees here in Middle Georgia. We've had a little rain, some warm weather. My flowers are in bloom. In fact, my husband is out watering and taking care of all the flowers because he just got home. So, hi, Pat. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Carol and Robin. I won't go through the whole list. There's a lot of you on, and I'm so happy that you're here. So, hi, Linda. Hi, Linda Safranco and Mary and Kay and Vicky and Letitia. Okay, and Elizabeth Allred. So, let me just go ahead and say that on Facebook, the first person that commented, Elizabeth, I know your name is different on YouTube as it is on Facebook, but anyway, so free e-packet, Beverly Sisilski, and on Facebook, Elizabeth, message me what e-packet you'd like, and I will get that off to you. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side so I don't forget. Whatever e-packet is on my website right now, sandymcteerdesigns.com. I don't know if I have that on there, but we'll see. The other thing is we do have some giveaways from last week and some giveaways for this week. So all you have to do to enter the giveaways is like, comment, and share. I have a really exciting giveaway for this week. So I'm going to let that run through real quick. Hello, Cheryl and Beth and Jacqueline and Lynn and Linda's mom, Mary, in Florida. Mary, I'm so happy that you're here, and I am thrilled that you loved your giveaway, Prezi prize. And I just had to shower your daughter with a few little extra bits too. So I'm happy that you guys are both here. And like I said, happy that all of y'all are here. So let's go ahead and take that down. So last week, if you missed it, hello, Karen Wilson. That picture you sent me on email, I just saw it right before I went live. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you for sending that. Hi, Joyce. 40s in New York. That's a little chilly for me. Hi, Linda Johnson and Cheryl and Maryland and Louise. All right, you've never heard of jelly painting. Well, Kathy, you're in for a treat. This is fun. Fun. So again, let me kind of back up. If you missed last week, we did wax effects. So if you missed that, go watch that. And then like I mentioned also on my live, Erin Reed, and Ann Butler both did videos on their YouTube channels of my demos, because as I'm demoing, it's hard to also record. But there will be a lot more coming with that product, a lot more videos, education, things like that, that I'm personally going to share with you. Let me just move that out of the way. And then this week we are doing gel plate printing. So a few years ago, the artist coordinator for the jelly plate reached out, sent me some stuff, and then with my schedule as crazy as it was, I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying I was crazy busy. Didn't get a chance to do it, but we're gonna do it today. And I have several. I bought my first gel plate from Dick Blick. Oh my gosh, let me think. Maybe 2010, somewhere around there. And at first I'm thinking, that thing's like $65. That's very expensive. But let me just show you the size of it. Okay? Because I thought if I'm going to buy one, I'm going to buy a big one, because you can always use pieces and parts, right? So I bought the biggest one they had. Anyway, so, and it's best if you kind of keep them in their clamshell, this little clamshell holder, and also store them flat, okay? So let's move that out of the way. It's going to be a loud thud, sorry. It's heavy. But we'll get there in a second. Never heard of this style of painting. Oh, Debbie, well, you're gonna love this. Oh, Jody, thanks for watching that. I appreciate it. Hello, Laura and Karen. So good to see you guys on. And Faye and Jacqueline and Deb and Carol. So anyway, it was a crazy busy week. My husband was in Turkey for 10 days on a siblings trip. So his brother went over and lived there for a year, just over a year. And he's coming back in a couple of months. So last year, you might remember, and if you don't, you can find the pictures on my my Facebook page. I had the pleasure of going over and spending 7 days with my brother-in-law, and he's been to Turkey many times, and he showed me around the country, and I fell in love with the people in the country, and it was just an amazing, amazing trip. So he's been there for, like I said, a year, but he's coming back this summer. And my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, I always call him my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my husband all decided to do a siblings trip to get together. And he just got back, what's today? He just got back Friday. And I normally don't sleep when he's gone. I don't sleep great anyway, but I don't sleep when he's gone. So last Sunday, I felt like I was kind of a little bit of a zombie. Where is I'm missing my third giveaway sheet. Where did that go? It might be on my big jelly plate. I might have to move that. Oh my gosh. Because I have 2 giveaways there, but I actually have 3 from last week. Okay, I'm gonna have to look on the floor in a second. Anyway, so so I don't sleep when he's gone. I don't know why. I watch too much crime TV, I guess, a true crime TV. So he got home Friday. I slept for 8.5 hours straight. I didn't get up to go to the bathroom. Whereas he was up at 2 o'clock in the morning and took a nap. But anyway, jet lag is kind of a hard thing to get over. So hi, Kathy. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Yes, I had an amazing, where's your looking glass, right? If he can't sleep when you are gone, he'd be, well, he doesn't sleep real great when I'm gone. He's like, this house makes a lot of noises. But yes, you're right, because I am gone a lot. In fact, I leave this week. I'm going to Tennessee to teach in Murfreesboro. Cannot wait to paint with those ladies. And then I'm home for 2 days. And then I go to Virginia to teach a 3-day seminar. So I will be sharing lots and lots of pictures with you guys. So thank you guys for sprinkling. So yes, let me just kind of, if you like, comment, share, you're entered into the giveaways. The other thing is on Facebook, there are stars. So in the comment section, there's like a little star. You can purchase stars. On YouTube, there's the little money sign in the comments. You can donate whatever you want to donate, and that money goes to the World Central Kitchen, feeding people around the world. And right now, again, Ukraine, Syria, from the earthquakes, people in Turkey, that area that unfortunately, sadly had the earthquakes. And so great cause. That money's donated to that. Like I said, last year we were able to give almost $800 to them. I started it kind of late in the year, but again, that money goes to that, and I greatly appreciate any donation, all donations, okay? So, what else? Your son lives in Murfreesboro. Well, Tanya, are you coming to paint with me? Because my friend in Florida is coming to paint with me. And her nephew lives in the same area. So, if you missed it, in the pixelated palette, I had my patriotic Land That I Love piece. And I just created a companion piece for it. So if you subscribe to the pixelated palette, let me see if I have that up there. I do, right there. The pixelated palette, sadly, this is their last year. But let me just tell you, every single issue that you get is packed full of painting lessons from artists around the globe. And so I was honored that my piece was on the cover, and I love it. I hope, if you subscribe, if you don't subscribe to the pixelated palette, you can get that issue. Let's put that there without knocking anything over. And then I just did a companion piece for, I'm teaching in Hesperia, California this year. It will be on my website very soon. But I did a companion piece for fall. So this piece right here that has the stripes, very similar. You can always paint it on the back because I will have two other designs with the stripes, probably one for spring and one for Christmas. Okay, so loved that. Let me just move that out of the way. And I have to find my my third giveaway paper from last week. So, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Virginia. I loved the patriotic piece, and then I also loved the one I just designed for California. Again, I knew I wanted to do a series, and the other two things I had designed, well, there's three. Two of them ended up in the trash, and one of them's a work in progress. So let me bend down here real quick. Oh, it's right there. No, that's not it. Huh. Well, I remember who it was. I remember her name. I just have to find it. That's hilarious. Okay. Anyway, we will see. I don't know where it went. That's just cray-cray, right? Okay. Her name was Kay. I remember Kay Marion. So I will find that. But I'm going to go ahead and announce giveaways. I'm not going to waste time looking for it. The giveaways we had from last week. So I had three. One of them was a brush set. And the winner of that, so if you go to my website and click on Contact Us, or you can message me on Messenger on Facebook. And that is Nancy Stovall. Nancy, I think in Texas, right? Message me and I will get these brushes off to you. While we're on that, guys, the last day to order on my website to get it shipped before I leave to go out of town is Tuesday at noon. Tuesday, like in 2 days at noon Eastern time. If you order anything after that, it's not going to be shipped until 30th, the 1st, 2nd. It's not going to be shipped until the 1st of May. Okay? Because I'm gone. I leave Wednesday and I'm home Sunday. And then I'm home for 2 days and then I leave again for Virginia. So if you order from my website today, tomorrow, Tuesday by noon, it's going to be shipped out. If after that, it's going to be shipped out when I get home. Okay. The other winner was a stencil set, and that was Anne Passanisi. Passanisi? Tell me if I said that right, Anne. She's a beautiful painter and designer. I do know that. So Anne, message me your mailing address and I will get those off to you. And the third, I should just write her name on a piece of paper because I remember it. I remember writing it. So let me just get a piece of paper real quick. It was Kay. And I don't know if I'm spelling your last name right, but actually, Kay Merriman. It was for chipboard laser cut pieces. So message me your mailing address, and I'm sure I will find the piece of paper written somewhere. But y'all's names came up on the wheel. I don't have time to do that and put all the names in from everybody that's joining us while we're live. So I put all the names in from YouTube and my Sadie McTeer Designs page into the wheel. And when those names come up, I do first, second, and third and write them down. Now, this is the caveat with that. You have 2 weeks to let me know your mailing address. If you don't, those go back into the stash. So if you're watching this in June and you see that you won, but you didn't claim your prize, unfortunately, it's back in the stash and given away to somebody else. All right, 2 weeks. So hope that makes sense. Are any of your upcoming classes from parts afar open to others? Karen, great question. Thank you so much. So yes, I am teaching in Virginia, and that is in person and Zoom. So you can join us by Zoom. If you go to my website on the right-hand side, you can hit the More button and it'll show seminars and conventions. When you click on that, if you scroll down, you'll see all the seminars that I'm teaching. I need to get a couple added, and I will get those added by tomorrow. Colorado, we just went live in person and on Zoom. Now, the great thing about that, guys, is that if you can't be there live, you can watch the live and you can get the recording. If you're there in person, guess what you also get? The recording, which is nice because a lot of times in seminars, we're not really up to our painting self, or things maybe move a little fast. And I kind of tend to move quick because I don't want you to think too much when you're painting with me. I want you to, kind of do it and not overthink it, or because we play and we want to fix, right? And it makes it worse. So I do go at a little bit of a pace where Tracy has Renee, right? Debbie, I know I need Renee to put those names in for me. But anyway, so my classes are very informative, very focused on learning the techniques, learning the different ways that I do things, and having fun. Because, guys, if you're not having fun when you're painting or taking a class, maybe reevaluate, because it really should be something that fills your cup, something that gives you joy. Can it be stressful at times? Absolutely. Believe me, I stress myself out designing and painting. So hi, Suzanne. But yes, there are many opportunities to paint with me, both in person and live. I just finally got confirmation. I'm going to be in Houston, Texas, the first weekend in August, and I'm waiting for them to give me their selections, but excited about that as well, because I've never taught in Houston. I did teach in Texas a few years ago with Diane Fow and that group, and had a blast. So anyway, okay, it's 4:19. Maybe one more minute, we'll get started, right? So I do have giveaways for this week. I have 3 giveaways. One is going to be for brushes. One is going to be a stencils set. And the other, I'm going to show you, even though I've not been showing you, and then also tell you another way that you can save when you win on one of these lives. Okay, so one of the giveaways that I'm going to do for today, like I said, I'm not going to do the brushes, not going to do the stencils. But like, comment, share. Make sure you share. If you share to a place you're allowed to. I don't want you to get in trouble. But anyway, one of them is going to be this is a 5x7 Jelly Arts gel printing plate. Now, I bought this at Hobby Lobby years ago. And then, like I said, the artist coordinator for Jelly Arts sent me some samples, and that was one of the sizes. So guess what? I have an extra one. And you can always use them. I mean, I'm sure I could use this, but why not share the wealth, right? So this, and then along with that is going to be one of these little plastic plates. It actually has 2 plates in it. And these are old Sculpey things that you can use for clay. So if you use like polymer clay and stuff, this will be a great little tool as well. Let me put a piece of paper behind that so you can see. Okay, so you've got something that looks kind of like cobblestones, a giraffe print or whatever. And then the other one is a little more condensed. So those 2 that you can press onto your jelly plate, you can press into clay. You could brayer paint on those as well and use them. So one lucky winner, okay, for those. Now, my lives, I try to do at least 2 a month. My next one probably won't be until the middle of May. It might even be Mother's Day because, again, I'm gone for the next 2 weekends, okay? All you have to do is like, comment, share. So let me move those out of the way and we'll get started. And then let me see. I have one. I've never used it. Oh, well, Eileen, got to get that out and play with it. Hi, Gail. Hi, Mert. I love your name. It matches your personality too. You're just so upbeat and happy and sweet. And I love your name, Mert. Anywho's, all right, never did jelly art. Well, Monica, hopefully you are in for a treat with what we do today. All right, hi, Nancy, watching from Texas. Like I said, I'm coming to Houston in August. So last week I did the, like I said, the wax effects. If you missed it, we'd love for you to watch it. We'll be doing a lot more of them. Thank you for that, Patricia. So I did this piece, and I have to say I didn't finish it. I played around with a couple things, but I just did not have time. Again, I'm teaching Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Tennessee, and I provide everything. So my life's been a little crazy. So anyway, saw this for the first time just last week. Oh, well, wonderful, Kim. Well, hopefully I'll show you a couple things, but they're going to be really basic. But anyway, this is the piece that I started on our live last week, and I added some things. I did cut off the top of that chipboard sunflower and added some rub-on transfers from, what is it? Redesigned by Prima. And I'm going to keep playing with this, and I'll show you guys a finished picture, but that's as far as I got on last week's live. All right. All right, let's get started. I'm going to move a couple things because I've got stuff everywhere. And let's come right down here, and I'm going to stand up and show you guys. So Karen said, I love gel plate designs. Oh, I miss seeing you, Karen. It's been a long time. So yes, gel plate printing can be fun. So Kathy Hansen, actually, I bought it years ago, like I showed you in the very beginning of this lesson or video, the largest one. And then Kathy Hansen would do these at the Vegas convention. And I know many of you guys took from her. And so I have a couple things that she gave me. And then, like I said, the artist coordinator gave me one, which is this one. And it comes in this clamshell. So let me just show you. You can get these at dickblick.com. You can get some of the smaller ones you can get at Michael's. It's going to be very loud. Sorry, hold on. I'll try and open it. Okay. So you get this really nice fold out that tells you kind of the basics of Jelly Art's gel printing plate, okay? It feels like gelatin. Let me just say that. So we call that Jello in the States, right? That kind of gelatin. It's very flexible and it moves. And it's nice and clean when you first get it. And it has these both plastic pieces. So I like to keep them in the clamshell and then close it up, okay? But it does give you instructions on how to clean, making your mark, some things you don't want to do with your gel plate, and then some examples. But if you go to jellyarts.com, I did put the link in the description for this video that you could go and watch some amazing lessons. So one of the ladies, Bridget, oh my gosh, does amazing things with it. And then also in the decorative painting community is Christy Hartman. So let me just pull these aside real quick and show you. I bought these last year. I was so inspired by Christy Hartman. Her designs, not only for the gel plate, but I mean, just her beautiful painted designs. So fun. And she came out with a line of these stencils, and I went ahead and ordered several sets. And they are from PM Artist Studio. And you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube at that address right there. Again, to see all the different things that they offer and provide. These are just, to give you an idea, some of the stencils. So they were small and large. You have the piece that was cut and then the piece that was cut out, which is super cool. So anyway, so I just pulled a few of those from the ones that I had bought. And again, check it out. Check out Christy Hartman on Facebook, YouTube. She does a lot of gel printing and is amazing at it. The other is Kat Kerr. I wish I had written these names down. But Kat, Katkerr, my art sister in Florida, is an amazing gel plate printer and mixed media artist. I mean, you name it, she does it. So anyway, when you get your gel plate, of course, it's going to come with the two like I showed you. This one has been used, so I'm just going to pull off the top piece and move that to the side. And then I'm going to pull off, yes, Manzi makes also, yes, she does some amazing gel print plate prints as well. And then I'm just going to put that right on this piece of paper. Now, one thing that Jelly Arts does have that they came out with, I want to say a couple years ago, is they've got almost like a T-square, but it's a plastic square that you can line up your paper with. I need to get my hands on that. I need to order it because I think that is a brilliant tool to have. So I'm going to move some of this stuff, like I said, out of the way because I've got things that are impeding my my view here. Okay, so now this one has been well used. So again, you can see it's kind of a gelatin type, and it will last if you take care of it, meaning you don't have to clean it. If you want to clean it and get this stuff off, you can use hand sanitizer, maybe even just a little touch of rubbing alcohol. But I use hand sanitizer, and then I will take a very soft paper towel like Viva and just kind of work my way over the surface to, I don't want it to dry out and get brittle, okay? So, oh, hello. There's the other one, K. So, all right, let's move these out of the way. They also have additional sizes, so like a hexagon, this quatrefoil design, a diamond. I also bought, I want to say this was, let me think, maybe 2018, 2019. Jane Davenport came out with one, and so I bought hers. There is a smaller 4-inch round again, that the artist coordinator sent me from Jelly Arts. And then, like the one I was giving away, that nice little square. Okay, but you can see it still has paint on it, and I leave it until I need to clean it or want to play with it. All right, so I'm going to move these out of the way because we're not going to use those. The other thing is, sorry for the noise, guys. The other thing is, I want to tell you, there's so much more that you can do with these than I'm going to show you today. All right. Now, what's interesting is this one is the Jane Davenport one, and you can tell that it's not as thick, so which is fine. They're still going to work exactly the same. All right. Now, let me show you some of the papers and things that I have printed. All right. Hi, Diane. So I'm going to reach behind me again. I didn't have enough room on my thing to show you. So you can print on many different papers. This right here is a Japanese rice paper that I get on Amazon. All right. It is. I do not have a number for it. But if you put in Japanese rice paper on Amazon, maybe that number might help you. I don't know. But I just grabbed this last minute because a lot of the jelly plate prints that I do are on the rice paper, or my favorite, I have to admit, is on Jelly Art's parchment paper, which you can also get on Amazon or their website. These are quite large, so you can always cut them down, but they're just a really nice, beautiful paper to pull your prints, okay? So let's move that out of the way. Oh, and I'll show you those in a minute. So these are my rice papers. I'm going to put those to the side. And so these are just some of the prints that I've pulled using stamps, stencils, bubble wrap. Hello, right? And some work great. Some work great like an automatic background. I can continue to layer. Some might be a little muted. Don't think of those as like failures, or they just didn't go great, or it wasn't the print you were looking to get. I can continue to layer on top of this and build just some beautiful things with stamps and stencils using a piece that maybe I wouldn't use anywhere else. Okay, this one you could certainly cut and use on cards, mixed media, art journaling, the works. All right, so some of these, again, just playing around or off. I see butterfly, right? That's my spirit animal is a butterfly. You know, like just running the brayer over a piece of paper or whatever to get rid of what's on it is what I did like on here. Okay, but to layer something else on top of this would be super cool. In fact, I'm going to keep this one to the side. So mono printing, gel plates are reusable printing plates that let you make monoprints without having like huge expense. Okay, the expense up front is going to be for your plate. All right, but let me tell you, it's reusable. Think of it as a tool in your toolbox in your studio and creative space. All right, two ladies started it. Lou Ann Gleason, I have to say, I've met her several times, and this year when I was at Creativation NAMTA, I hurt my knee. I don't know if I told you guys that last week. I think I did. My body went one way when I was dancing. My knee went the other way. And when you dance like you're 25 and you're 55, it just didn't work that great. But on my way to the show down to the booth one morning, Lou Ann was walking the hall and she said, "Are you okay?" She just checked in on me and she asked if she could do anything. And it was so incredibly sweet of her. And I have to report, thankfully, my knee is doing much better. So, okay, again, just kind of playing around with stamps, stencils, making background pages, and then coming back and layering additional colors on top. I love Rebecca Bear stencils, so I know for sure that's a Rebecca Bear stencil. I'm just going to kind of flip through these so that you can see. This is on a dictionary paper, and I just laid it down and lifted the print Love, love, love. These are so my colors. And I love that mermaid scale stencil. That's actually a deco art stencil. Again, stencils, paint, that's the Crafters Workshop, TCW. This one is amazing because you can see it's got some metallic gold on it. And this one I actually did on a magazine page. Okay, so again, some quatrefoil. One of the prints that I did with that stencil. So again, so many things that you can do with it. This is on that Jelly Arts paper. And let me just move it so that you can look at that gold. So that metallic gold. I'll show you what supplies I'm going to use. This is another one that I did that I absolutely loved. This stencil is actually a Southern Ridge Trading Company.ca or chipboard.ca. Is their website. But look at the gold on that one. And just how pretty it is to layer. And like I mentioned on my live last week when I talked about doing this is, okay, what do you do with all these? Guess what? Use them as in your card making. You can make prints of all your stencils as a database. Absolutely, Lisa. And if you've missed my video, I have it on YouTube and on my Sandy McTeer Designs page. I actually did a journal where I did all of my stamps and all of my stencils. And I write down what the number is and where I got them. So I do have a reference book in an art journal form so that I can see what, I don't know if I have it handy to grab. But anyway, then the papers that you just kind of put, you know, to the side and take paint off, which I'm going to show you. All right, so I think that's it as far as the pretties. I love this one again because you can see that gold shimmer. And again, so much more that you can do with a gel plate than what I'm going to show you today. But I will share and show some basics so that you kind of get the idea of what you can do with a gel plate. And then kind of go from there. But the best thing about it is just to play and have fun, not think about it too much. It's kind of like paint pouring as well. You never know exactly what you're going to get. You have an idea the more you play with it and learn, but it certainly is something that you want to play around with. And I have to say, guys, that is one of the best ways to learn and create is to play and just test it. If you're like, oh, I wonder if this is going to work. That's my biggest thing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try it. So these are just tissue pages that I have that come like with my stencil material. When I cut stencils on my Glowforge, it's just little filler paper that goes in between each one, and I save that. You can cut tissue paper down, deli paper. You can get deli paper on Amazon as well and use that, and I'll show how you do that. Okay, the other thing, I did get this, and I don't know if it will work, but this is a pre-cut parchment sheet that was on clearance at Michael's, and I'm going to see if this will work. Don't know, but again, like I said, give it a test, see if it's going to work. So, what do you want to have on hand when you're gel plate printing? I'm going to go ahead and have two, and I might even get my third one out, but I'll have to pick it up off the floor because you want to let things dry before you pull your print or not. I'll show you both ways. The other is a brayer. So I have a couple of big brayers that I've gotten at Hobby Lobby. I think these are Speedball. And I carry these. These are Ranger. This is the small one. Julie Fayfan Bowser, if you're familiar with her name, she takes these off and carves into them and makes a patterned roll for things like this. I mean, just amazing. But you can take this out and wash it and put it right back in. Okay. So you want a couple of those, variety of sizes. Again, some kind of a paper to pull your print. This is just computer paper, and that's what I have down here. Okay, because I can line that paper up and do my pull, which I'll show you. But again, they do have an acrylic tool that goes so that you can line things up perfectly, and I'm definitely going to get one of those or two. Okay, so we have our, that looks a little crooked. Let's see. Nope, that's even more crooked. Let's go that way. Okay. The other thing is stencils. They work really great with your gel plate printing. So this is a new one that I have. This is my filigree butterfly large stencil that I'm going to play around with today. And I just grabbed some others. So cdwood.com has some really cool ones. The Crafters Workshop has some cool ones. Those I'm probably going to play with for sure. I just have to edit because, to be honest with you, I could sit here and do this all day and show a whole bunch of different pulls. But what I want to focus on is the basics so that you kind of get an idea of how to use it, the amount of paint, using stencil stamps, etc. Okay? So the other, like I said, is stamps. So this one is Art Foamies, artfoamies.com. This is a cat cur. Again, love her stuff. And so I have several of her stamps somewhere. Let's see. And Julie Faye found Bowser as well. So one that says artist, ones that say seeker. Anyway, they're a really cool foam stamp. Scribble. What's cool about them too is, because it's foam, it's flexible and it'll move. So we're going to play around with a couple of those. And then my favorite stamps, of course. Let's get some of these. Again, I just grabbed quite a few things. So again, some stencils, stamps. My favorite stencil. That's Tim Holtz Flourish that I carry and probably my #1 seller on my store. So, and then again, just some stamps to kind of play around. We can play around and pull paint up. We can put paint down and just kind of go from there. So I'm going to move those out of the way. We're going to start very basic. All right. Very, very basic. So I'm going to take some paint and I'm going to use either Deco Art Americana or my favorite, which is the Media line. Okay. I was on Julie's show, Make It Artsy, and I loved doing that. It was right in the middle of the pandemic. If you don't know, it was June of 2020. So, okay. And then I also have just some computer paper over here to the side, just to kind of run off whatever paint I'm putting on. But let's just do kind of a basic page print first. So I'm going to grab maybe Cobblestone, which is kind of a gray color. It's a new color out last year. And you do want to make sure that you shake it because, hello, that is all liquid. So let's shake that and have a redo. Okay, so I'm going to put some of that on, maybe even there. And then on this one, I think I will do something like primary blue. Okay, so again, let's shake that. And we're just going to do our initial kind of page that we can continue to layer on top of. So let's start here. Again, I'm just going to use that brayer. And this is the key that I found with that too. If you just do this, that brayer is not going to move. You want to lift it up and move it different directions and ways so that you can cover that gel plate. All right, so I'm just going to Continue to move. And I can see that I had something on there before, which I love. It's going to give you a pull that you might not have expected, because there obviously was something on there. It might have even just been the plastic that was there that created that, and I might have it on there permanently. I might have just not put that plastic on correctly. Okay, now the thing is, you can come over here to your paper. You'll see it on the right-hand side, but I'm just going to kind of run that off on that piece of paper. It will take the excess paint away. Chris Avola, you're the best. Thank you. So Chris is putting some links in the comments for me. Okay, and then on this side, let's go ahead and put some paint. I will say, when I first started doing these, I used way too much paint. And when it's soupy and it goes over the edges, it just makes a huge mess. So I highly recommend that you start with a little and then build your way up if you need to add a little bit more paint, okay? So I'm just going to go front and back. Okay, and like I said, this is going to be extremely basic at first. I'm going to offload that onto that piece of paper, and don't throw this away. This can be used for something in mixed media, your art journaling, or whatever. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to just pull like my first print, just kind of line up that, and you just want to rub your fingers. Look at so my husband got me an early Mother's Day gift, and this stone, I posted it in my membership group. Guys, look, it was orange. It changes colors. It's a stone that's only found like in the mountains of Turkey, and it changes colors. So it just went from orange to green. I love that. So, okay, so we're just going to pull this color. And the cool thing is it's going to leave some color behind. And I kind of want that to happen. Okay, so notice how I'm kind of pulling it at an angle. I don't want this to tear. So you can always lay it back down if you're like, oh, it's not picking up the color there. Lay it back down, rub your hand over it. And let's pull that. Now what's awesome about that, like I said, is, oh, and it got blue on it. That's okay. Is this is like my base to build on. So I'm going to move this to the side, and let's go ahead and pull our blue one. Put that right there, and again, just kind of pull that up. Oh, and I like that that's leaving quite a bit of that blue behind. And from the pages I showed you guys, remember those like mermaid scales? That one is still left on that gel plate from before. And so what happens is you might get pieces and parts of that when you pull, and then any excess leftover paint, you might get that as well. And again, just a super cool technique. So let's load this up again. I'm going to, let's do, what do we want to do? I think I'm going to do some yellow. So we'll put that on. And this is Hansa Yellow Light. Might need a little bit more than that. And then I will do some green gold. And then some sap green. And I think I'm actually going to do that on both. I don't know how that'll look on gray, but we'll see. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start going back and forth. And again, you want to lift that brayer up. Come right into that next color. And what's cool about that, guys, is notice how it's blending. You can bring that green up a little, but if you don't want to contaminate that color, use your paper that you're off-putting onto over here. Okay, and then right into that darker sap green and print and blend for your print to, I don't know, just have some interest. Okay, all right, so, and I'm going to do that. Now let's lay a stencil down. So I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do Da, 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 da. Let's do this one. And then also I have a second one. We'll lay that there. These are CD wood stencils. We'll lay those in place. Now, the cool thing about those is, and do I want to put it on here? I think I'm just going to pull it from here. Another piece of paper. Lay that down. And I'm kind of running my fingers over it. Again, you can use computer paper. You can use the Jelly Arts parchment paper. What I love about that Jelly Arts parchment paper and the deli paper that you can order is you can see through it. See, I'm not really seeing if I'm picking up paint on here as much as I want to, but I'm just going to keep running my hands over that. Now let's move this one to the side for just a minute. And on this one, I'll move that. Okay. On this one, I'm going to do some Bahama Blue. Well, hello. That's not coming out, so let's just take the lid off. Again, you don't want to use too much. And then we will get some cobalt turquoise hue. I love the colors left behind. It really does add something super special to that. And then I'm going to actually turn that over and put some white and another color, phthalo blue. Okay, so let's just play around with that. And again, you can wipe that off onto your other paper and then just come back and start okay, and then wipe that off. All right, let's put some stamps into that. So I'm gonna come in with like my Stampendous butterfly stamp. Just kind of make some marks here and there, but not everywhere. Again, you want to wash those off. So I have a little bath right there to wash those off. Maybe some print. So one of the Tim Holtz stamps that I sell, we'll just put a little bit of printing in there. All right, and then wash that off. And then let's pull a print. See how that looks. Oops, my paper just swiped right on by. So it didn't line up is what I'm talking about, but that's okay. We'll just put that on there. You want to really rub that paint into that paper. You can leave it to completely dry, or you can go ahead and start pulling it. Again, I'm not worried if it has every single paint spot available or pulling up. But what's so cool about that, guys, I don't know if you can see it, there's some of the butterfly left, some of the print left. And when we put the next color on there, you're going to be able to see that. Okay, so see where I stamped that butterfly image into that? Love that. Love, love, love. All right, so I'm going to come here now and pull off this print. And this is not going to be a pretty one. This is just going to be one that I will eventually layer more on top of. Okay, but even there, again, I love when you get that kind of puckering from it lifting off the gel plate. You've got that relief from those stencils. So we'll go ahead and pull these up. Now what's cool is I can lay these here and use that paint that was there. Somewhere else. Okay, so again, you want to make sure you wash your stencils, hand sanitizer or baby wipes. I just throw them into a little bath and wash them as I go. Alrighty. So, other cool things that you can have on hand, punchinella. You can get punchinella on Amazon. This is what sequins are punched out of. All right, and then they sell it, right? So I'm just going to take a baby wipe and lift some of that. Get some dots in there. Again, take a baby wipe. And so I'm subtracting the paint, just like I showed you guys last week with the wax effects. Okay, so cool, right? I laid it in that wet paint, just laid it over here, and it's going to take that paint, deposit it in that area. All right. The other thing is, and thanks, Mom, she saved me the netting that you get around a turkey. How cool is that, right? And you could cut it into smaller shapes, whatever. So that the netting that comes around like avocados or fruit or whatever, and I have that in Hello. I just lifted. I just pulled out those scissors and the whole thing just fell over. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that. And let's just kind of lay that in place. And we're going to put some paint over it. And then drywall tape works great because, again, it has a really cool texture to it. So let's put this down. Do I want to put that down yet? I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to wait on that. Okay, let's get some Payne's Gray. So I want to see if this is kind of set up. It is. You'll be able to tell. Again, wait, let it dry, let it set up. I'm going to put some Payne's Gray in the media line. That's my favorite because it's transparent and it just gives you beautiful, beautiful transparent colors, allowing those colors to show underneath. But again, Americana, great paint to use on your gel plate prints as well. Okay, so let's do, this is Payne's Gray. And then I'm just going to go ahead right over here and put some of that Payne's Gray, maybe just a little on both sides, and then a different color in the middle. Are you seeing how much fun this can be? Just to play and create and let happen, what happens, happens, basically. Again, the more you play with it, the better idea you'll get of what you want to lay down first versus what you want to put down second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, and as you layer and build those layers, you get a different effect. So, all right, so we've got some white and some Payne's Gray there. I am going to come in with some bubble wrap, and I think I'm just going to press that in place. Let's do it over here on the white. I was going to say it's almost mindless, but it really isn't. I mean, you again can think about what layers you want to put down first and layering those pieces before you go into it. So, but again, just starting, just playing, just have fun and create and lay those things in place. All right, I'm talking too much and that's gonna dry. So let me come over here and I'm gonna pull a print. And this is that Jelly Arts parchment paper. And then on this one, I feel like I've let it dry too much. So I am going to put, I think I'm gonna put black. Let's put black. Let's make it nice and dark. When you're putting your colors and stuff on too, you want to think about colors that complement each other. Having a contrasting color, a light color, and not just going in with, you know, all these random colors that are going to make mud. It will happen, believe me, I've done it. But again, the more you play with it, the more you learn. And let's just do this on tissue paper. We'll put that down. Okay, I'm going to leave this one for a minute. You can do image transfers using your gel plate. I'm not going to do that today. I think I let the paint dry too much. Yep, that's okay. We're still going to pull it. Me talking and not putting that paper on. Okay. Oh, it's pulling it. I've had some that have worked great, and then some that is like, ugh, I need to put like 10 more layers over that. But let me show you something that happened that I actually love. I don't call it a mistake. It's just a extra texture for my next piece. But where the paper lifted right there, you can see it. And when I put that next layer down, oh, it's going to look so cool. Okay, let me put some black on this one. The other thing is you can also use too little paint. If you don't have enough paint on there, like I didn't, probably I did too thin of a layer and it dried real quick, especially with these studio lights. It is going to not pull for you like it would if you have a bunch of paint. So let's do that. And then I'm going to take this one and let's remove some of that paint. So it's just a baby wipe. You can use a piece of paper if you want to, but I'm just going to quickly remove some of that black paint. And let's turn that so we don't have the same direction. It will, Cindy, but like you saw, it with the, I didn't put the paper on it before it already started drying. And so it's not wet. I need some kind of wet for that paper to pull the print. So just my bad for not putting it down soon enough. And I'm probably even getting close to it here. And again, depending on where you live, I live in Georgia, it's warm. It's a warm day, but my studio lights are probably also going to create it drying quicker. So we're gonna pull this one up. And again, I don't mind when that pulls the paper. Oh, this one's really pulling the paper. So guess what? I'm just going to keep pulling it because it's not dry. Hello, hello. We're just going to keep doing that. I would say if I were doing this on a video, this is where I would probably stop and edit. But at the same time, guess what, guys? If you're seeing me do it and how to come back from making something like that work, when you make that mistake at home, you're not going to be too fussed about it, right? So let's put some purple down. I remember when I got that big, huge jelly plate years and years ago. I was teaching at Hobby Lobby, and I don't remember where I was introduced to it, but I thought, ooh, I'm going to get that and play with it, and just made such a mess. But again, jellyarts.com has some great videos for you to be able to go watch and play and create, and a lot of different techniques. Okay, because there's plenty, especially probably one of my favorite is the image transfer. All right, so let's go ahead and leave that for a second. I'm going to take white going to take white on this one. Oh, thank you, Linda. We're just having a little creative play here. I just saw Linda Safranco has to go baste her chicken. Well, you do that. My husband's making lasagna for dinner. So, okay. So I'm just going to put some white over that I had. Wipe that off on my paper. Come over to my the other thing too, when you're pulling it, if you've got a lot of paint on your piece, it will slide. And so you'll get used to how much paint to use or not to use the more you do it. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a second. I'm going to come over here and pull this. Remember that paper? It's going to leave a really cool texture. Oh, love it. Going to leave a really cool texture. And pull that piece. So I'm going to put that to the side because, again, that'll be a piece that I use as a background. We'll lift that up. Move it to the side. Let's let this sit for a second. I feel like I'm rushing too. Sometimes when you allow things to dry quicker, give them time to dry instead of pulling your print too quickly, you get a much better result. Okay, so this one, oh, that's gonna be pretty. It's black and white, but I can see those flowers still in the background. So this one, remember I said the paint, if it's real thick, will kind of move and smush, but I absolutely love this effect, and I'll layer something else on top of that. So we're gonna move that to the side. And I am just gonna take this and kind of press it in because some of that white paint is still wet, just to get another little texture. And then let's go to, that's still wet. That's still pretty wet. Let me go back to one of my other pages. I want to put that one on there. Nope, I think I'm going to move that to the side. We will use this one, and then I'm going to take some cobalt turquoise hue, and I'm just going to layer a couple different colors. There. And you can use many different brayers, but again, lifting that up as you work your way down, and then try not to push too hard. Sometimes you'll get those brayer lines. So that. All right, where is my stencils? So I'm going to use, I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a cat cur as well. Love it. And then let's put some of the gel plate paper from Jelly Arts down. And let's move that. And again, keeping these pages, oh, that's gonna be so pretty. You know, to then layer and build on top of, super cool. And we'll lift that up. Again, you can take that, lay it on another piece of paper or on another gel plate. and get that paint off like that. How cool is that, right? So you've got the negative from that stencil we just used. And then I'm going to let that sit for a second. You can press other things into it. You can create, like I said, additional textures, movement, depth. But again, letting that dry, wiping off your roller. Right? That black and white. I loved the way that black and white looked. Okay, so let's see if that's still kind of wet. So I'm going to move that, come back to our very wet print that I did. And I'm just going to lift some color and hopefully lift some of that paper that I have down there. And if not, I'm going to show you how to clean your gel plate. Yeah, it's not going to lift because it's too wet. So it needs to dry before it to lift onto that paper. So this is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're just going to get as much as we can up. All right, if you want to wash your gel plate, you don't want to submerge it in water or anything. You can use hand sanitizer. And what I like to do, instead of a baby wipe or paper towel or anything, is just kind of take that and move it around. Lift those paint pieces, but at the same time, those paint pieces make for incredible prints that you pull later. What you don't want to do is use anything abrasive, use your fingernail or anything like that that's going to cause that to puncture or cause a problem with your gel plate, okay? So no kind of tool that's going to embed into that gel, no kind of tool that's going to puncture it or score it, because you will never get rid of that. All right, so that hand sanitizer, and this is just a baby wipe. I'm just kind of scrubbing some of that paper off. And that's stuck. And then I'm going to take a clean one. Let's just get that off. Okay, and I'm going to leave these little shards. I kind of like that, like I said. And then soft paper towel. I'm just using a Viva. Doesn't have a pattern, just to get that hand sanitizer off. And then I want to take a Viva paper towel with a little bit of water, and I'm just going to go over it. Again, I don't want that hand sanitizer to dry out my gel plate. I've seen many different people suggest as to what to use. Again, I just always worry with my gel plate or my stamps that it's going to dry out from the alcohol, like rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer. Okay, now let's do something cool. We're going to come in with, what color do I want to do? Let's do a light. Let's do like natural buff or a tan. Do I want to use that one? Or burnt sienna? Let's do burnt sienna. And my brayer. I haven't forgotten about this one. I'm going to leave it because I want to pull that print. See how much paint's on there? That's a lot of paint, Sandy. Let's move that. Let's come over here. You can take paint from this one, put it on this one. See how that's not covering? So when you go to pull your your print, again, it needs that paint to be able to pull that print. But I don't know about y'all. I am always a curious artist, crafter, creator, and if I wonder if it's going to work, I just try it. All right, let's do some cool things with those Christy Hartman stencils. So I'm going to put that one there, and then I'm going to put that one there. All right, let's get paper. And we're going to put that down. Again, rubbing over that. We're going to let it sit for a minute. If you're curious, you can always pull it back. But the thing is too, guys, what's going to give it away is if this is cool to the touch, it's still wet. The layers are still very wet for you to be able to pull that and do anything with. So I am going to take just scrap kind of paper and run that over some of those leaves. I might even just lift up some of that paint there, some of the leaves over here. Okay, and then let's lift those up. Again, you want to wash your stencils off. Super cool. Okay, I'm going to lay that one back down. Oh, cute. Cute, cute, cute. All right. So I'm going to let this dry. This one is still a little cool, but you know, I don't really have 20 minutes, 15 minutes for it to completely dry. So let's see. If it's going to lift. It's not going to lift because it's too wet. So we're going to leave it for a minute. It just will not lift up. Now, this one we already printed on, but let's just put that down and see what we get. Oh, that's going to be fun. Okay, so what happens, you can see that print that we had in the back with those, the brown leaves. I'm kind of digging that, but I want to come in, this already has brown, so let's put some burnt sienna on here. I know, Christy Hartman, I love your stencils. I'm so happy that you're here, and I really do hope that everyone will go and check out your YouTube channel and all the different ways that you monoprint. Like I said in the beginning, there's so many different things, guys, that you can do with these stencils. I certainly am not an expert. I just am a novice that likes to play. Rebecca Bear's stencil, guys. She's got some of the prettiest stencils too. All right, so let's lay that down. Melissa, thank you so much for that donation over on YouTube. I greatly appreciate that. Again, that will go to World Central Kitchen. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're going to pull that one up. Oh, love it. Again, it's just on computer paper. I think I might be having an issue with my lights in here. Again, you guys see how, what a hot mess I am when I'm done from the heat of these lights and things drying too fast. So, but let's pull that. And again, I'm just kind of coming in and getting a little bit more of that paint out of those sections, but look how pretty that is. Okay, and then let's lift this. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. Make sure to wash your stencil. And then let's leave that for just a second to dry. And I'm going to find my other plate that is just not behaving. It's the one that the paper stuck to, again, I think because the heat in my studio, but we're just going to go with it. You're going to have paint on the other side that you can see, right? But we're just going to move. We're going to move on and play one more thing. And one more way to use that paint. Oh, there's a little burnt sienna in there. I'm digging that. Some of that purple. Yes, that flower stencil is so pretty, right? Chrysavola, thank you so much. And please, Christy, put your link for your stencils in the chat as well. I see that you're on Facebook. I showed it in the very beginning, but please, please, please feel free to put that on. Okay, I'm just going to plop in a little bit of white. Because I love to just play and create and see what you can do. Let's get this one. This is a Southern Ridge Trading Company stencil. And again, I'm just going to take a baby wipe and kind of remove some of that paint. You can take a piece of paper and lay it over, which I'll do as well, just to lift some more of it. But I'm just using a baby wipe. It's easy on stencils like this. Sometimes if you've got a stencil that's too intricate, it grabs it. This makes me happy. If you don't know me, this right here is Sandy McTeer. Happy. I love to have paint on my hands because that means I played and I had fun and I created. So again, we'll take some of that off and let's lift that up. Ooh, pretty. But remember I showed you can take that stencil. Ooh, I don't want to do it on there. You can take that paper, lay it down, and continue to use that paint. Okay, I have no place, so I'm just going to do it in the air here. But look how fun that is, right? Okay. Now, let's let this set up. I'm going to move it to the side. We are going to come over here, and we're going to use, let's see, some Diary-Lined Yellow. Do I want to use Diary-Lined Yellow? Yeah, I think so. So we're going to use some yellow. We'll use some, let's use some gold. Let's do some metallic gold in there. Just in a couple of places. And then some Hansa Yellow Light. You're so welcome, Christy. And I saw you've got new ones too. I can't wait to get my hands on those. All right, so we're going to use this brayer. And I'm just going to, again, you want to pick it up, move it as you go so that that wheel will turn. And you don't want to mix it down to mud, guys. You know, kind of put that on. And if you want to get that excess off, go over to your piece of paper or something over to the side so that you can help yourself not make any kind of mud. And then again, just kind of nice and gentle so that you don't have all those big marks from your brayer. All right, I'm going to take a piece of paper, lay it down. And we're just going to really rub that into the paper. Yes. Let's see. What did I see there? I still have lots to finish. I do have new stencils, new videos. Awesome, awesome. Okay, look what I did. I didn't lay my paper down pretty straight. Chris Avola, you're funny. Okay, but we're still going to pull it. And if you do that, it's okay, guys. What it's going to do is just going to create an extra little line or something in your pull. But look how pretty that ended up pulling with that burnt sienna down first and then the gold. So let me turn it. Maybe you can see it's not dry enough yet, but that right in there, that gold, oh, it's going to be so, so pretty. All right, let's come back to this one. Okay, and I think it's dry enough. I'm actually going to come in with some black. Thanks, guys. I love that last pull. Like I said, you know, some of them you might go, oh, I don't know what that is. When I play with it, I certainly don't have all these lights on, but all right, then let's get another piece of paper. You could put things into that if you wanted to. In fact, you know what? Let's do, before it dries. Where is that stamp? I'm just going to use some of those words. Some of them might show up, some of them might not. But again, just to give a little something, something in the background. Put down your piece of paper. And then smooth it out. And then really rub into that jelly plate. Again, you can put it to the side, let it completely dry, or you can just pull it. Hello. You know what I did? I used a dark color with a dark color. But look at the words showing through where that white was. I'm leaving that because we're going to create something else. We're going to use a light Bahama blue and some white and that cobblestone gray. Okay, again, contrast. Since that background, and that's a lot of paint, Sandy, since that background is dark, it's really going to show up with this lighter color, and vice versa. If you've got a really light background, your light colors might show up on it very subtly, but your dark colors, you know, having that contrast is really going to help. And then wiping that off. And again, I do try to get rid of some of those. It's just from me pushing too hard and the edge of the brayer. Okay, this is a CD wood stencil. Let's lay that down. Take away some of the background. Again, I'm using a wipe. You definitely could use paper. Okay, and that's what a lot of people that typically monoprint will use a piece of paper because, again, you're going to have something on that paper which is going to be usable. But I'm just going to do that, and then let's come over here and get a piece of paper instead of a wipe, just to show you what I'm talking about. But this is probably going to be my last one. Again, I will share and show other techniques, little shorts, little things that you can do, especially what do you do with these papers afterwards. So see, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of wasting it on a baby wipe, you can put it on a piece of paper and then use that for something else. And I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll move that to the side. Wipe off my brayer. These guys, I don't do anything with. If it's like mud or, I just throw those away. You can't save everything, right? So, I'm gonna let that So this is that really dark. Just lay that in place. And this is where that tool would come in handy that shows, you know, lining it up. I don't know if I'm on my print completely, short of laying my plate on top of my paper so I can see. And then really just kind of rub that in. You can also get one of those tools that, you know, moves, it's circular and you can move it around. I don't have one of those. I just use my hands or my palms. Yes, absolutely. You can use the brayer to roll over the paper as well. Absolutely. Okay, guys, this one is, I love that. Right? So fun, so cool. Love the way that that turned out. Okay, I do want to get maybe one of my other poles that is like this one. Okay, so what I want to do is come in with some Payne's Gray. Hi, Janet. Remember, what you're seeing on the back of that is that paper that obviously dried. But this is Payne's Gray. And one of the questions was, can you run over it with your brayer? And I'm going to show you that. So I will take that. Where did it go? Get my piece of paper over here. Let's get that stamp, so that butterfly stamp, and we're just going to press it in here and there, not everywhere. Oops, I slid that. And I was looking for my, there it is, this one. So the question was, can you use your brayer to go over things? And you can. Let's put the flowers maybe there. You can go over your stencils with the brayer. You can lay that piece of paper down. Let's get a clean one, because that might be a pretty pull right there. You just never know. You really never, I mean, the more you do it, of course, the more you're going to know. You can, instead of using your fingers, run that brayer right over the gel plate. Lift that up. And you see those butterflies in the back. Oh, cute. So, love that. But then, let's take this up. And again, I would put that down somewhere that I could use it. And on this piece, let's lay that. Do I want to? Yep, let's lay it there. And so anything that was left over from that was still wet, that butterfly, is going to transfer and print right onto this paper. Oh yeah, so some of that grungy bit that was in the background. And hopefully there's enough of that butterfly you'll be able to see. There is. Alrighty. So, how fun is that? I mean, I could see cutting that and using it in my art journal. That one has some pretty little chunks from the paint. So it really is so fun. Endless possibilities of what you can do. I want to get this grungy bit off. So I am going to lay that in place. And then let's put a color first. I know I said it was my last one, but let's do one more. Because I think that grunge on the sides, if I can get that to pull up, depending on the drying time, I think that's going to be super cool. Alrighty, let's lay. Anytime you have words, if you can, especially on a stencil, you want to flip it over. And then let's take that piece of paper. kind of lift some of those words out. It's fun, isn't it, guys? It is fun just to play and see what happens. Okay, so we've got some great words there. And then I am going to lay in some of my chipboard butterflies. And then let's come in with another piece of paper. Like I said, last pull, we'll do one more color, one more pull, and then call it a day. But hopefully this give you some ideas, especially if you've never heard of gel plate printing. Like I said, go check out jellyarts.com, check out Christy Hartman, Kat Kerr. So many cool ways to create using your gel plate. And they were the original creators of the gel plate, Joan and Lou Ann Gleason. So Joan Bess and Lou Ann Gleason. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. See how fun that is right there? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift these. And what it's going to do is it's going to leave that blue outline. Oh, cute. All right. And then let's come back in with let's use this one, a stencil, because I already threw the other one to the side. Let's just do that. It's going to leave a border, but that's okay. And we're going to do some burnt sienna first. And we are going to let's pull that. Oh. So Debbie Sears, I do have a smaller one of that butterfly stencil. I just have not had time to cut it and get it on my website. And it's an SVG file that I purchased, so it would be nice. I think it would be really pretty to have it on both sides, don't you? Okay, so this is not going to be a pretty pull. I'm just taking some of that paint up. But I do agree. It's a fun pattern. Now, don't throw something like that away. This is usable and buildable. All right, so but we're going to move it to the side, just like this one that's already dry. And I can continue to layer. I mean, this could be a background. Decoupage it onto your surface and paint on it. So, you know, kind of think that way with what we're doing today as well. And especially with mixed media. Let's lift this. This needs a good bath because it's very dirty. I'm going to let that sit for a minute, kind of run that excess off here. You know, once this is done too, guys, like I said, using it in other things, you can paint on it, you can print on it, you could stamp on it. I could come in with my stamps and do additional butterflies. But it's nice and thin, so when you add that to your art journal or cards or anything with matte medium, it's just a nice lightweight paper that you're going to be able to use on your designs. Okay, now I want this to dry, so I'm just going to fan it for a second and look at the, I know I love that one too, don't you guys? Look at the comments real quick. So again, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Yes, that butterfly stencil is on my website, this one right here. I only have it in one size right now. Okay. So let's come in now with some, I think I want to use, well, I think think I'm going to go back to the cobalt teal hue, although it might not show up real good with our butterflies. So let's use green. Let's do sour apple. I'm going to do sour apple and then a little bit of sap green. That's way too much paint, but you'll see what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to again, allowing those layers to dry before you put on that next color. Play around with it. You'll start to get the hang of, you know, pulling a print too soon or pulling one too late. Like I did on a couple of those where that paper stuck to the gel plate. You know, it's fixable, but it certainly isn't fun when it happens and you think you've got this great print that's about to happen. Just keeping it real, keeping it real. All righty. And then let's pull that. Really just kind of work that in. I really wanted to get that grungy edge. Oh, that's going to be pretty. I love those colors together. Sour apple, burnt sienna, and some kind of an aqua turquoise look really pretty together. Okay, so see, it's going to pull up some of that butterfly outline that we had, just a little. Get some of that edge if we can. Kind of pull it at an angle. Okay. So, love, love, love how those two colors work together. And even the ombre, you know, for that matter. So, I know I keep saying this is the last one. I want to do one more thing, and then I think we're going to be done. I want to come in with some gold. That, DecoArt Media metallic gold. Oh, so pretty. So gold. All right, and then I am going to come in with let's do, well, I don't know if I like that one, but I also don't want to waste the time for it to dry, so I'm just going to lay this one back down. Okay, piece of paper. You're so welcome, Christy. You're so welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Right. All right, let's lift that. I'm going to lay that down. Again, it's just going to add some of that gold to it. That'd be pretty on this one too. A little bit more burnt sienna or gold in that background. Okay, so and that's going to leave a really cool design for my next print. But let me see if I can angle that so that you can see it's subtle, but wow, especially right there. See that gold? And it's in the shape of that stencil, in the shape of that design. So depending on how you turn it or move it, you get a really cool effect, which I think is awesome. And then again, this, I'm going to leave it, let it completely dry. And then I can go into that, put another color over it, and that gold is really going to show up. I am having a ton of fun. Can you tell? Sandy Fowler? Yes. Guess how many times Sandy says it's the last one, right? Right? It's hard when let me come back up here. I'm a hot mess. To say it's the last one, but then you see something happen and you're like, "Ooh, I could do that." Anyway, you guys, again, check out, like I said, I am not a gel plate pro in the least. What I am is curious, and I love to create and paint and play, and see what happens. And again, these, love, 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 love. We'll use them for sure in my art journal. I mean, even that one, you could cut it into strips. You could decoupage, matte medium that on the entire page if you want to. You can use your journal pages on your gel plate. It doesn't have to just be computer paper or the Jelly Arts paper or deli paper for that matter. Trying to find the other one with that butterfly that I like too, because again, I could cut him out. Him. The butterfly's a him. I could cut the butterfly out and put that in my art journal, and continue to paint, outline it, do some cool, fun things. Love, love, love. Again, when you get your prints like this, to continue to layer and add. Use your die cut machines to cut them out, tear them. It really is endless. So I hope that kind of gave you some creative ideas to play around with your gel plate. If you already have one and you've never opened it, what are you waiting for? Just get it open, have fun, and play. And then those that didn't know what the technique and process was. So again, there are many, many, many different videos. Christy Hartman, go check her out on YouTube. Amazing. Kat Kerr, and so many others. So you're so welcome, Carol. Jelly printing is so satisfying. I love playing with it. Oh, Ellie, I'll have to look. Have you posted anything? If not, post a couple pictures in this feed so that we can see them. And yet you did not get a drop on your clothing. Well, everything I have has paint on it, right? So this piece I painted. I don't know if I have it with me. Oh, I might. I think I showed it to you guys last week. But in my membership group, I have a membership group. If you're not familiar, you can go to my website, find out about it. But it's called The Adventures of Art and Art Journaling. So basically, we do everything from your decorative painting, mixed media, art journaling, tons of techniques, tips, whatever. And this year, last year we did the flower of the month every month. This year we're doing and being inspired at least one lesson a month by an old master or a very famous artist. So last month was Georgia O'Keeffe. And so I did that page. And then I decided to paint my shirt to match. So I painted my shirt to match. And then this month we've taken inspiration from Andy Warhol and kind of that pop art. So we did, I think I showed this last week, the paint bottles. And then the lesson we just had on Thursday was a pop art girl in our art journal. And I love her. She just makes me happy. She needs a name. What do you think her name should be? Anyway, so, all right, guys. Oh, thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Donna. Thanks, guys. Yeah, there were some in there that were kind of, but that's what you get, right? Like when you do paint pouring or you're pulling these gel prints, the more you do it, the better you get. The more you do it, the better you get at how much paint to use, layering techniques, things like that. Again, watch videos if you're interested in doing these. But get that gel plate out if you already have it. And if you don't, Dick Blick sells them pretty inexpensively. I know they have them at Michael's Hobby Lobby, but I think just the smaller ones. So anyway, and then don't forget, like, comment, share, because I have one that I'm giving away. All right? Y'all have a great week. Like I said, I won't be here next Sunday or the next Sunday. I'm going to be out of town both Sundays, so I will be back the third Sunday of May, which I think is Mother's Day. And then I will, Andy. Andy's a cute name, Wendy. I like this. Stella, Mariah. Ooh, 2 Mariahs. So, yeah, I don't know. Last call, not last pull. All right, Brenda. Okay. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, you can go back and watch from the beginning. So you're buying a gel plate today. Well, I love to hear that, Virginia. So make sure it's the Jelly Arts, and just play with it and have fun. Like I said, you can watch this. I do have a video on my YouTube channel. It was a different brand, but just showing you some of the prints that I pulled that I shared with you guys today. And check out their website, check out their YouTube channel, Christy Hartman, Kat Kerr, jellyarts.com, Jelly Arts YouTube channel, and find out all the fun things that you can do with that, because it's just another great way to create not only mixed media, but in your art journal, backgrounds for your decorative painting pieces, and etc. So she will get with us in Newport News. Yes, I can't wait. Cannot wait. All right, guys, have a great week. Enjoy. Get those brushes out. Get that paint out. Get that jelly plate out if you have it. And just have fun and create and play. And remember that it's supposed to be fun and joyful and exciting. And playing teaches you so much more than just following instructions on something. Okay? All right. Have a good one. Talk to y'all later.